So, like I've made clear in previous videos, my college days were some of the littest times of my life. Even though I was only there for 2 years, I had a lot of fun and made a lot of memories. But wherever there's memories made, somewhere in that mix are embarrassing times. One of those times being when I went to my first college party. So, let me take y'all back to my freshman year of college. I remember it was my first day of college and my mom and dad were helping me move into my dorm room where I met my first roommate. Let's not use his real name. We're gonna call him Horrendous. I made a video on the experience with him a long time ago. You should go check that out. And I remember scoping the area just to see what I was working with. And I tell you what, I was very pleased because there were so many fine women, bro. Like in the back of my mind, I was thinking like, bro, I'm finna go to every party, bag so many shorties. I'm finna be living my best life. I'm finna go crazy. Cause you know when kids leave their parents and go to college, they wild out and lose their freaking minds. Which is exactly what me and Horrendous did. So as soon as both of our parents left and said goodbye to us, we got settled into that dorm room, we got to know each other and made our intentions of this new college life very clear. Wild out and lose our freaking minds. Cause why? You're not in your parents' grasp anymore. Mommy and daddy don't have any say in what you do anymore. Now, if you've been on this channel for a long time, you know well that growing up, I was a good kid with bad intentions. So truth be told, even in college, I didn't really wild out to the fullest extent like Horrendous did, but in my freshman year, I decided to change that and take risks. And let me tell you, the results were better than I expected because even through hard times back then, those days were the latest times of my life and some of the best memories made. So me and Horrendous decided that our first plan of action was for later that night to go to the club. So as soon as nightfall came, I rushed because I was mad excited. Like we both got fresh. We made our way down to the shuttle, which was the bus that took everybody to the parties if they didn't have a ride. And we saw this crowd waiting for the bus. We asked them like, yo, is this the right place? And we got confirmation, so we good. Now, mind you, this was our first day in college. We don't know nobody. Nobody knows us. Our names don't hold no weight. So we can't be out here walking like we got high notoriety around campus. But we did actually do one thing that actually made us look good and have a good first impression, which is what you should always do when meeting new people. So the bus comes, we all get in and the seats start filling up. Me and Horrendous walk down the middle trying to find a seat and everything's going good so far. Until things got even better when we ran into this one girl that I know to this day. We're gonna call her Maddie. I made a video on her. She belongs to the multiverse. Go check that out. And just like in the video I made about me and her story, this was the first time we met because this is freshman year. And bruh, she was so thick. I'm talking about so thick. Like out of all the snacks I ran into that day, she was the dinner, like a 5-star full course meal. Shorty looked finger licking good. And bruh, when we saw her seat open, Horrendous ultra instinct over to her seat so fast and sat down, leaving me to have to stand up because all the seats were full. Best believe on the inside, I was pissed. So we started chopping it up with Maddie, making a little small talk, and eventually we both got her number, which was kind of odd to me at first, but I eventually brushed it off because maybe she for the streets. It's for me to know and you to find out. Soon as we get to the club, Maddie takes off to God knows where. Me and Horrendous sat in a line for like 20 minutes and eventually we made it into the club. Soon as we get into the club, I'm even more excited because it looked exactly how I thought a club would look like. It looked kind of like a music video with all the lights and bad shorties everywhere and a bunch of dudes and drip everywhere and music playing and magic pixie stick gas in the air and alcohol being passed and all that jazz going on. So we looked around for seats because the party really hasn't started yet. We got there pretty early and eventually Horrendous takes off and does his own thing, like, great, by myself. But it's cool, stay calm. However, something felt kinda off, but I really couldn't put my finger on why I started getting this weird anxiety out of nowhere, so I just brushed it off for the time being. Now here's the part of the story that really pissed me off, like I kid you not. I waited 2 hours for something to happen. Nothing fun happened. Even when the party started gaining some momentum, like I thought at first when the party started gaining some momentum and people started dancing that everyone was gonna be on like some 2007 Stump the Yard type energy. That didn't happen. On top of that, I was waiting for the women to start start twerking, knees hurting, legs jerking. That barely happened. Guys were posted up on the wall trying to look cool and too cool to dance. Girls were twerking on other girls like, come on, shorty. Like, you got a perfectly good ding-a-ling to twerk on right here, you know what I'm saying? Get off that cat and come get this hot dog, shawty. The music was trash. Everybody was trying to act cool so they wouldn't dance. I couldn't go back to campus because the bus didn't come until the end of the party. Maddie was throwing it back on some dude when it should have been me in his place. Where's horrendous? I was pissed. Until the trap music started playing. Here's some live footage from back then. The DJ started playing Boosie's Set It Off, and it really set things off. Like, it's like everybody woke up from their sleep and started making their way down to the middle. It actually started vibing and having fun. So I'm like, bet, let me slide in there too. I get to the middle of the crowd, like the dead center, and started dancing surrounded by hella people that were dancing harder than me. I was trying to not fall on my face because like everybody was bumping into each other with the force of a freaking linebacker. Like, I almost got pushed out of the crowd a couple times. And as I'm dancing, I started to get a little sweaty. Normal, right? However, like I said before, I noticed something was very off about that night because I got this weird burst of anxiety out of nowhere before the party started, and I really couldn't put my finger on why. Until I lifted my arms because your boy was musty. So I get to panicking like I'm mad embarrassed. I pull my arms down so quick and continue to dance away to the back of the crowd with my arms by my side so nobody would freaking die from smelling me. But what made it more embarrassing was the fact that I think everybody already knew because the crowd that once surrounded me started social distancing away from me, like slowly, like I had the Rona or something. And I'm thinking to myself like, bro, what the frick? How the heck did I forget my deodorant, bruh? But then I thought back to before all of this and remembered I rushed to get here. Like, I brushed my teeth, took a shower, put on the drip, put on cologne, but how did I forget my freaking deodorant? Like, you musty piece of crap. How dare you violate these good people's nostrils with your arms smelling like Jabba the Hutt's butt crack? Bro, I was getting so sweaty that my armpits was smelling more like a regret. I make it to the back of the crowd and slide my way out of there looking real confident, playing it cordial like nothing's happened. For the people outside the crowd watching, and I make my way to a booth with barely anybody in it because you don't want to go to a booth with nobody in it, then they're definitely gonna know what's up. So I go to a corner, pulled out my phone, and I ain't say nothing to nobody. An hour later, I heard that bus pull up and I got to stepping. I was the first one on that bus. Like, y'all would have thought I was the Flash the way I was moving. I go back to my dorm and I was thinking to myself, like, I can never show my face at a party again. Yep, it's over. Yep. I went to another party the next day. All right, y'all, I'm gonna be honest. Me personally, I ain't a clubbing guy. I'm more of a group gathering type of person. You know, the anime binge night or go out and do whatever with the homies and a couple girls we bring along, if any at all. I'll still go to them. That's no problem. But I just personally think all forms of clubs are freaking boring. I used to hear the rappers all the time. I be in the club, this. I be popping bundles, that. Thinking I would have the time of my life until I went to my first club and my expectations were shot to the ground. It was one of those, hey girl, let me buy you a drink. Come to my booth type of clubs. No, sir, that ain't for me. If there ain't no dancing from the time I walk in, you can go ahead and find me posted up in the corner somewhere with my little margarita waiting for the rumbling to happen. I need to see excessive ratchetness and somebody breaking a leg and an ankle on the dance floor. Who finna start it? Not me. No, sir. I realized after my 7th time going to a club that house parties put clubs to shame way later. So I stopped going for a while until last year in 2022 when I took a trip to Atlanta to be on Holla's podcast. Now, this club experience was slightly different, so let me tell y'all how it went. Okay, so that week I took my older brother and my 2 homeboys, Arius the Aquarius and Amaris LSK, with me along for the trip because I wanted my brother and Arius to get some exposure. Amaris just wanted to come along. I didn't need the exposure because, duh, I'm Devonte The One. I'm already a big creator. I've already built my empire by myself myself after 14 years of doing YouTube, so I planned this trip only for them. So me, my brother, and Arius get to the hotel. I FaceTime Holla. Mind you, me and Holla already knew each other. We just didn't meet in person until this trip. He ain't know the others though. So we chopping it up. I'm telling him this my second time in Atlanta, and I ain't really explored a place like that before, which is what we were gonna do after the podcast. So then he offers to be our tour guide around the city after the podcast episode was done, which was great because Holla knows his way around town and he's got connections throughout the city, so why not? And the first place he brought up showing us was the strip clubs. Now before this day, I ain't never been to a strip club in my life. I only been to normal clubs, block parties, and house parties. Plus, I always thought strip clubs was a waste of time, especially if you broke. So I avoided them like fat people avoid a diet. Kinda hesitant at first, but seeing as I never experienced it before, neither did my homies, I decided, you know what? Vámonos, amigos. Crazy part is we actually hung out with Holla and his homies for the entire 3-day trip after the podcast. Bro, I don't care what nobody say. Holla was a S-tier tour guide. If he was our Uber, I'd give him 10 stars. Bro took us to so many places, but I'ma only tell y'all about one because whatever happens in ATL stays in ATL.
This nigga forgot to lotion his ankle, so he's using lip balm.
Listen. It happens to the best of us.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You know, these hoes don't really like ashy ankles.
Yeah, don't like ashy niggas. You know what I mean?
I mean, my ankle's ashy too.
Hell, I even left him $100 in the back seat without asking as a thanks for driving us around those 3 days because I knew how much gas that probably costed him. So I get off FaceTime with Holla. Me, my brother, and Arius took an Uber to Lenox Mall to meet up with Amaris. We stayed there for a couple hours, then Amaris drove us to Holla's place, which he wasn't even there when we got there, so we had to wait outside for like 30 minutes because he was at the movies. We do the podcast, and after Amaris had to leave, so it was just the three of us with Holla. Holla drives us to this strip club. I don't remember the name, but it's somewhere in the city. Holla's 9 times out of 10 reacting to this right now, so he probably remembers. So we walk in, right? First thing I see that I ain't never seen at a regular club in my life. Bucket naked scruples everywhere. I'm talking about nothing covered up, bruh. No drawers to cover up the vernacular region, no bra to cover up the Nipolation mountains. I mean, nothing. And bruh, 99% of them were like all over 6'3". Bruh, I am 5'5", but I ain't care cause I like my women tall too. Y'all are not excluded. All this tall and sexy walking around, I was loving it. I told y'all many times in the past for all my OG supporters, I don't climb trees, I chop them down, you feel me? Anywho, I made a fool of myself by adapting to the environment without asking questions. I saw people going to the counter, getting money, spending their entire stack of bread on a fantasy, throwing stacks of cash on the boudet, which is what I thought we were supposed to do. So my pea-brain decided to mimic exactly what those same idiots were doing. My brother did too. So we go to the counter, I gave the man $200, told him to break it into all ones. I give my brother the other 100, I turn around and I kid you not, 263 bucket naked scruples was in front of us, ready to shake that ass. Yeah, I knew they was only there for the bread, but I ain't give a freak at the time because my little buddy down there was happy, and its happiness was my only concern. I was a little bit nervous, but I ended up going through with it anyway. So these two sexy Amazonians took us to the most spacious spot in front of everybody and gave us the dances of our lives right next to each other. He had an Amazon on his power pole, I had one on me. I'm throwing stacks of ones on the boudet, he throwing stacks of ones on the boudet. Then out of nowhere, on Kami, my brother's scripper and my scripper switched guys. I got his girl, he got mine. When his girl got to me, she started going even crazier on me than she did on my brother. Earned every penny. I was still nervous though, cause everybody was watching, but I had a great time. I'm on cloud 9. My little buddy downstairs jumping out the gym. I'm still under the impression that I'm initiating proper strip club etiquette. So after the first dance, I decided to get more money to look for more fantasies. However, us being noob strip clubbers, my brother and I made one primal mistake that every noob makes while experiencing this, which was probably why people looked at us so funny. I'm at the counter getting 300. Holla walks up to me. He talking about, yo, y'all did it wrong. I'm like, what you mean? I ain't see nothing wrong with bumping and grinding. He's like, when you're getting a dance, you're only supposed to throw $1 every like 1 to 3 minutes, which blew my mind because we threw stacks of ones every 10 seconds. So not only did the dances last way shorter than they should have, the scruples got way more money for less work. So you telling me I could have been in the land of ooh for an hour instead of 5 minutes? Yes. So upon hearing this valuable information, I took it upon myself to make sure the next lap dance was better than the last and in the correct etiquette to get my money's worth. My brother was on his own. I go back to the counter to get 300 more. I turn around and instantly this girl named Sugar walks up to me. Bruh, Sugar was so fine. She was like a 9.5. She was 2 inches shorter than me, slim thick, and I kid you not, the most beautiful girl up in there. I remember her the most because she ain't even start dancing off rip. She started conversation with me first, which was smart because good scribble tactic 101. With the little time y'all got, bond with the client. Works every time for him. Not only was she fine as hell, but this girl was multi-talented. First of all, she threw it back better than both of the stallions combined while conversing with me at the same time. Shorty had a full-blown conversation with both parts of me. Worked for every dollar. Did her thug dizzle. And I think she was kind of lost in the sauce because, bro, when I ran out of money, she kept going for another 5 minutes. I ain't have a single dollar on me and Shorty threw it back like a Cadillac. Did moves I ain't even know existed. I felt like 50 Cent in the candy store because Sugar really left me with a sweet tooth. I never thought I could have the time of my life while clothed. However, despite the S-tier dances, never wasting my money at a strip club ever again. Such a waste of time. Back in freshman year of college, I had a friend that was wild. Yeah, she was the young and the restless. We're not gonna use her real name, we're gonna call her Becca. All she wanted to do was have fun. You know, the usual college mentality. Smoke, drink, party, get her back blown out at the end of the night, cause she was finally free from the clutches of her strict parents. And you know what they say, the stricter the dad, the wilder the daughter. Now in the college scene, a girl or guy like this is normal. So I expected the wild part. And sometimes when she wasn't being a head ass, she was a vibe. But when she was being a head ass, which was 90% of the time, she was very selfish and reckless with her words and actions. As long as something bad didn't happen to her, she didn't care. She said something so delusional and ignorant one time that I booked my own therapy appointment. Plus, she was a hot Cheeto girl, which made things even worse. Y'all know what type of girl that is. They always sit in the back of the class eating 30 different varieties of chips, messy bun, 12-inch nails. The color of her tongue is either blue, red, or green, depending on what lollipop she been sucking on that day. Her Snapchat score is probably 300,000. The big eyelashes with the hoop earrings and the baby hairs laid down to the T. Loud as hell for no damn reason. And they always keep either Jordan 1s, 11s, white Huaraches, or Air Forces because they ready to fight 24/7. I remember this one semester, she hired me as her personal Uber. She said she paid me $40 a day to drive her anywhere at any time, which left me kind of concerned because her family ain't rich. She ain't got a job. So she had to have been moving something to accrue them type of funds. And I ain't talking about that ass. I only know 3 things you could do with $40 minimum. Lose your virginity, get a full tank of gas, or buy 10 chicken sandwiches for the week in your dorm so you don't gotta eat that slop at the calf. I'm about to puke right now just thinking about it. So I shrugged off the concern and took the job. All I gotta do is get her from point A to B? Say less. Now here I am, a side job. I thought everything was gonna be good. Completely unaware of how deep this rabbit hole was finna get. Cause every time I did my job right, something always went left. All was good for like 2 weeks. She was on her best behavior. Every time she got in the car, it was a vibe from A to B. I was making so much bread on top of the job that I already had that every time I sat down in class, I'd purposely make paper origami just to have my teacher come up and ask me what I'm making. I said, more than you. 3rd week roll around. She getting a little too comfortable. One day she texts me at 3 a.m. talking about she need a ride. I said, it better be to the bank because I'm gonna need an extra tip for me waking up at these type of hours. But this is what I signed up for. So I get my keys and I dip. I get to her location, which happened to be at a club. She get in the car, but not alone. Somebody got in with her. I said, whoa, hold on now. This ain't no public transportation. I only see 1 golden ticket for the Polar Express, not 2. Becca, who is this? Call me Mr. Krabs. Gas ain't cheap. He gotta pay. She slid me $30 and said, don't worry about who he is. Just take me to his house and gave me the Addy. Now, my first thought was to check Shouty for disrespect. in this car that I reside in. But that $30 told me otherwise. It told me to shut up and keep driving. I was a broke college student. Y'all don't understand. I needed that $30. There's a lot of things I wouldn't do for $30, but this just happened to be tame, so I'll let it slide. Dude in the back, he was real quiet too. I already knew what was finna go down because she had on a hoodie, a bag, and some leggings. If that don't scream Dooney Land, then I don't know what is. Plus, I ain't never seen him around school. He must be a local or something. So I drop her off. Next day, she texts me talking about come bring her back to campus. I get up there, she looking out the window like she on cloud 9. I say, you had a good time? She like, shh. It slid me another 30. I don't think y'all understand. That money she was giving me had me on lock. If she told me to jump, I'd say how high. Now the 4th week was when life took a 180. I had to put my 2 weeks notice in on the hoe for this. One day she hit me up literally right after I was done fasting, talking about she need a ride. Meet her at the side of the main building. Now, I ain't ate nothing in 24 hours, so I'm high-key annoyed. I ain't have no time to stop and eat. Plus the vending machines in my dormitory was fresh out of snacks, which was all I needed anyway because I got a little stomach. So I decided to just thug it out and eat when I get back. I grabbed my keys and dipped to her location. She get in the car, but not alone. I look back, I'm like, Becca, what the? Is that the janitor? She like, yeah, what about it? I'm like, hold on now. Both of you got me 50 shades of fucked up. You, listen, brother man, I know you are a janitor, but right now it seems like you trying to get more than the floor wet. Right on, brother, but that's besides the point. I don't know if she told you the rules or not, but you can't be smoking in my car, especially not cigarettes. You, have you lost your mind? Why you keep bringing these random folks around when we agreed only you? She like, I ain't got no extra money this time, but I do have food to compensate, which caught my attention because I'm hungry. I ain't had no food in 24 hours. So she caught me at the right time. She like, I got some gummies you can eat, but they not regular gummies, so you gotta be careful. Man, what you talking about not normal? Talking about not normal. Man, these look like regular Wait, are these? Yep. Why didn't you stop me after the first one I ate? I ate 2 of them! You took the bag from me. What was I supposed to do? You know what? It's whatever. Let's just go. Y'all lucky I can handle these. Great Sage, how long is this gonna take before it kicks in?
Notice, you have about 30 minutes.
I had to hurry up before the high kicked in, but that's not even the worst part. Bro reaches in his bag and pulls out a beer. She like, that's your 3rd one, ain't it? I'm like, his 3rd one? She like, yeah, we're going on a date back to his house. I'm finna get litty too when we get there. A date? Yep, at his house. Yeah? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of Dooney Land? No? I got a feeling this is one night she won't stand. Bro, 5 seconds later, I hear a girl outside of the car talking about, Antoine? Who's that bitch you're in the car with? Instantly, my heart dropped down to my ass. Dude didn't even say nothing. He just looked at her and sat there in silence. Becca looks at her, she like, and who are you? And gets out the car. I knew then and there that it was about to go down. What the fuck did I get myself into? I didn't realize how much time had went by. Like, we've been sitting there for a minute, so I already knew what was coming. As those two were outside arguing, I felt the world getting a lot slower and everything starting to get 3 times heavier. I was like, yep, I hope she got an Uber because this little piggy ain't going nowhere. Bro, I looked to the back of the car. Bro is slumped over and throw up is all over my back seat. I'm like, what is going on right now? I'm high, he's drunk, he done made that splat all over my back seat. Beavis and Butthead outside the car trying to fight over a glizzy. He not even conscious enough to care. I ain't have time for all of this. Like, food was not enough of compensation for all of this going on. So I was like, you know what? Why does this keep happening every time she gets in the car? You know what? Never again.
Hey, listen.
All right, so this is pretty much a part 2 to Hot Cheeto Girl Uber, which at the end of the video, I said after all Becca put me through, Ubering her around in part 1, I would never do that again. Well, that was cap, because literally 3 days later, I got a similar opportunity I couldn't refuse. Oh, brother, man, get that goofy out of here. Goofy. All right, chill out. I know what I said, but this next one was for a good reason. So on that day, I'm sitting at the campus library playing some Reincarnated as a Slime mobile, and out of the blue, I got a random text from somebody named Shirley. I'm sitting there thinking like, Shirley? Who is this? My grandma? She got an old lady name. This girl probably like 21 going on 50. So I'm like, who are you? Stranger, state your business. She get to telling me how she's a friend of Becca's and how she would run her mouth all the time about how many rides she would have with me and that she wanted to cash in on the opportunity. She got my number from Becca and I tell her no, cause Becca done Corbin blued my ass, so I won't be driving people around no more. $60 a ride change your mind? I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. Do I really need it? No, nigga, we don't need it. I need it though. I need it. No, you don't. I mean, if not, then no. Deal. Okay, cool. I need a ride to the farmer's market. It's gonna be like a 30-minute ride. A $20 increase, huh? Here we go again. So I meet her outside her dorm, and before we took off, I got to know her first to make sure she wasn't a psychotic weirdo swoop. She get in the car, first thing that come out her mouth, oh, I thought you'd be cuter, and I thought you'd be skinnier, you freaking whale. Good, you're not a snowflake. Which was crazy, because she didn't look like the type to be able to take a joke and dish it out. Like, she really vibe checked me before I checked her, which gave her some points on my end. Like, she was cool. Regardless of her personality, she paid me, so I'ma do my job. Put my feelings to the side, get in, get out. That's how a job should be done. So I'm like, so I noticed you and Becca had a lot of money to spend on rides. Like, where y'all get all that money from, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, I'm a successful streamer. I'm into gaming. Nani? Yeah, I pay Becca to help me with homework while I'm streaming. Like, duh. Where you think she got all that money from? Me. I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now. Which left me kind of concerned because her family ain't rich. She ain't got a job. So she had to have been moving something to accrue them type of funds. And I ain't talking about that ass. So she continues to tell me how she's a super introvert homebody that saves up her money or uses it for rides and traveling out of town for conventions. Like, if she's not traveling to a con or a business venture, she goes nowhere, bro. And I like that because I'm an introverted extrovert who slightly does the same thing. So I could relate. So throughout the rides up there and back, we got along fairly well, which is surprising because I don't get along with everybody. We got along so well that when we got back to the campus, she invited me to her dorm to play with my joystick. So that night I left my dorm with my joystick to go to her dorm, which was kind of tough because she didn't have visitation. So I got in through her back window. I see the whole PC gaming setup she got, the LED lights, a mini see-through fridge with energy drinks stacked to the tippy top. So I just assumed she was a gamer, like pro level. So she hooked my controller up to her PC and the first game we start playing was Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, my favorite game. She like, I play this a lot, so don't hold back. Don't worry, I'm not finna hold back. Anybody that's seen me play Storm 4 before or knows how I get down in the game knows I don't hold back, regardless of the situation. You could be a complete noob at the game, bro. I am slapping you up and down the court. No hesitation, nothing but net. All nuts on head. Now, you know what's crazy about this entire situation? You would think with that entire setup she got, she would be an S-tier gamer. Wrong. Helen Keller could have saw through that bull crap. Shorty really put me in a genjutsu, making me see whatever she wanted me to see. Cause this girl was doo-doo, water and all. On top of that, bruh, I'm a level 99 trash talker. So you know I'ma jump down her throat with the insults. Bruh, you're garbage. Boo-boo, butt cheeks. My 3-year-old cat can play better than you. Retire, put down the sticks, put him in a body bag. I'm him. Count Himula, Hemi Neutron. Bruh, who taught you how to play? Clifford? Bruh, you gotta be done. Look, can we play another game? Cause this is too easy. You know, I love it when my opponents drown in delusion. Wait, what? Believe it or not, but I've been holding back this entire time. Cap. Oh, really? I bet you the entire $60 I gave you today that you won't even land a single attack on me. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I kinda believed her on the inside because she said it with so much conviction. Like the tone of her voice even had some bass in it. And I knew she wasn't playing around because I've done it to a couple of people before. I'd act like I'm an anime protagonist that hides his true power until somebody shows me all they've got, then I power up on them. But I stopped doing that though, cause people will play you once, win, and make niggas suffer by never playing you again. I'm niggas. So I take her up on her offer. Deep down inside, I was mad nervous. I could feel the sweat dripping down my butt cheeks. So I decided to focus and just push beyond my limits and get ready to receive this ass whooping. Bro, she rolled up her sleeves, sat crisscross in her chair, put that 𝐤𝐄𝐄𝐄 grip on her controller. And when I tell y'all, this girl was still trash. Like, what the freak? She raised her power level and still couldn't beat me, bruh. I felt like Beerus seeing Super Saiyan 3 for the first time. Like, bro, her anger made her play worse. Shorty hyped herself up just to get folded. Again, had me over here clutching my controller like I was finna get the beating of a lifetime. I thought I was finna get Saitama, but she gave me Moomin Rider. Devonte was thoroughly disappointed. Yes, I talked in third person. That's how bad the next game was. Bruh, she was so pissed when I broke her spirit that she broke her controller. And I don't blame her, cause I did talk a lot of trash and backed it up. So I was happy. You know what though? I may have beat them Doonies down in Storm 4, but when it came to Apex, that girl be slinging that iron. So about a year ago, I made a video called High as a Kite. And to keep it short, it was basically a story about the first time back in college when I dabbled with magic food that made me ascend into the Shadow Realm. If you got at least 420 brain cells working, you should know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, for all you newbies out there, magic food is basically any regular food, but with a special plant infused into them. And when you eat them, it makes you ascend into the Shadow Realm. However, based off of what happened in this story, this time, we're gonna break these off into two separate entities. We ain't finna call them magic food anymore. We're gonna call them devil fruits, you know, like the ones from One Piece, and soul fruits. The difference between devil fruits, in this case, and soul fruits is that a devil fruit, in this case, is the regular schmegular basic magic food that makes you ascend into the Shadow Realm. Soul fruits are so much more powerful that they make you ascend past the Shadow Realm and turns you into a completely different person. For example, a devil fruit will be like Aang in his avatar state. A soul fruit will be like Rimuru from Reincarnated as a Slime turning into a bro. Spoilers. My bad. If you know, you know. Soul fruits are extremely hard to find, but unlike last time, I managed to get my hands on one, but didn't realize it until I actually ate it because the specific chef I knew had some and didn't tell me because I didn't ask. I didn't ask him because I assumed, based off of my previous experiences at his restaurant, that the food would hit. His devil fruits never disappointed, but oh boy, little did I know, I was in for a wild ride. Now, I haven't ascended into the Shadow Realm ever since the pandemic started over a year ago, up until a couple of months ago. And I told myself I wouldn't do it again, but when life gave me lemons, I didn't make lemonade. I made an Arnold Palmer. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I ain't even finna drag this out. I remember it was a couple months ago before all the students at my college were about to go back home for the summer. Also, FYI, I wasn't in school anymore at the time. I was just around campus a lot. My boy Sean had just came all the way from Michigan back into town to visit and hang out with the homies for 2 days. He and I meet up first on campus, go to the football game with our boy Sabo. We lost, not surprised. After the game, we decided to go see our other homie when he gets off of work, but before we leave, we wanted to go stop by my chef's restaurant and grab some devil fruits that we didn't know existed at the time. We go retrieve the devil fruits that we didn't know were soul fruits at the time. And before we leave, Sean gets ahead of the game and eats one. I decided to just wait until I get home to eat mine because, bruh, I had to drive. Do you know how hard it is to drive while in the Shadow Realm? I done did it before. I ain't doing it again. So we stopped by Mickey D's for some food. When I got to the window, I took one glance at Sean and it looked like the devil fruit's powers were kicking in because he seemed fine but calmer than usual. I turned to the window to get our food and I kid you not, when I look back at Sean,
this world shall know pain.
This nigga was gone. And I didn't really think nothing of it at the time because it looked like the regular schmegular Shadow Realm he was in. So the whole time while he was in La La Land like, mellow. I'm an anime protagonist in an isekai, and they don't know I'm Dirty Dan. Sir. Mellow. This shadow realm is different. I'd be like, yeah, big dog, I'm sure it is. No, you don't understand. And I sure didn't, because even after we got our food, parked at our homie Ray's job and waited until he got off of work, hung out for a little bit, fast forward to when we all left and went back to our homes the same night, I still didn't believe how gone he was, and he ate a whole soul fruit. I ate a half. So before I get into what I experienced with a half a soul fruit when I got home, let me call Sean real quick so I can give y'all his perspective on what he was experiencing after we got our food that day, because I honestly didn't know how he felt until I did it myself.
It's like that, you know, like the when you had that, like the red line went across his head.
Yeah, the little ting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's ting. That's exactly how I felt like. It's out of nowhere. I felt like I told you, nah. I was gone. I was on a different level. I wasn't on Earth no more, big dog. I didn't know who I was. And everything didn't make sense. Words hurt.
Words hurt.
Words hurt. We was flash that from to the left and to the right. And the worst part about it, no one understood how I felt but me. Yeah. And then when you in areas decided, you know what, it's time for us to unlock our 8th gate. Then you understood what it meant to be a shinobi. I was loud.
I ain't gonna lie. I was looking at you real funny the whole night. I was like, what's wrong with this nigga, bro? It can't be that bad. It's not that bad. It's literally just the regular.
Like, I might actually draw out loud ninjas. How loud ninjas be like. Honestly.
I had to apologize the next day. Like, I didn't know what you was going through, bro. I get it now.
Like when I told, like, again, it was so bad. I had to leave my chocolate pills with you. I couldn't take them with me. That's why like I told you. I had to leave. I had to go home. Well, not home, to the apartment. Like, it felt like a labyrinth, bro. I felt like I was in a maze runner, bro.
By the time I got home, it was like 1 a.m. I took a shower, and immediately after, I ate half the soul fruit to get half the effect so I could be more relaxed when I sleep, because I thought it was a regular devil fruit with the regular effects I was already used to. I lay down in my bed, 30 minutes go by, nothing, not a thing. So for the next few minutes, I'm like, man, I want my money back. Man, these devil fruits ain't shit. Let me tell y'all what I felt those 6 hours I was in the spirit realm. Bruh, I was so high off of life that I didn't even know how to get out of the bed. And when I did manage to somehow get out the bed, every time I would walk, it felt like my body was glitching. Like my body would turn into pieces, separate, and then put itself back together every like millisecond. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all. That's the only way I could explain it. Like, you'd have to experience it for yourself to actually feel what I felt. Man, just like he said, I didn't know who I was either. Whenever I stopped walking and would stay in one place, it felt like my body was in 2 places at one time. Like, I would walk around the entire house, but another half of my body would be back in my room. Like, it would take me 30 minutes to get from one side of my house to the other. And then when I got to the other side of the house, I teleported right back to my room. And while all that was happening, I was seeing a slideshow of my whole life going across the screen. Like, it felt like I was talking to God. When I tell y'all I've never been so scared in my life, that scared me more than anything I've ever experienced. Like, I really thought it was over. Like, I thought this was my judgment. It's a wrap. Everything hurt. A thought hurt. Words hurt. Looking hurt. Everything hurt. Every time I would walk, it hurt. Not like actual hurt, but like, you know, like a really big irritation. Now, this may all sound like I got superpowers or something, but trust me, inside, I was suffering. This actually made me scared to do it again, and I haven't done it since. If I do, though, in the future, I'm going back to regular. That experience made me think like, bro, I ate a half. That nigga ate a whole. So if this is the half effect, What's the hole effect like? I had a whole half piece left. You think I touched it? Absolutely not. So about 1.5 years ago in my sophomore year of college, I remember me and my homie Sean were at our usual spot in the main building on campus talking. And around mid-conversation, he brought up the fact that he was ready to get some heat for the rest of the group to protect ourselves because the block was getting a little too hot around the school's campus lately. So later that night, we go acquire the goods from our local dealer and we slide back to his apartment that he was allowed to stay at. Seeing it as it wasn't his apartment, he didn't want to take all the goods upstairs in the house, so we thought it'd be safer to keep it in my trunk. Fast forward to next morning, we're at school in our usual spot again, waiting on the rest of our homies, and when they all made it, we all went to a secluded area and gave everybody a piece so they could protect themselves due to the recent numbers of shootings outside the campus as stated before. Then out of nowhere, for some reason, it's as if a parasite entered everyone else's bodies because everyone started getting a little too trigger happy. Like I noticed a lot of strife present in the air. Next thing I know, niggas was on a Danganronpa type beat. I'm talking about everybody scattered like a sneaky link that got caught in 4K. Folks was getting burnt left to right. Headshots, snipers, point blanks all throughout the day. It didn't matter where you were. You could have been anywhere. You could have been rushing down the sidewalk because you're late to a class. I would have cut you off and been like, where you think you going? You could have been playing ping pong in the game room. Huh. It's clobbering time. You could have been at band practice doing your thug dizzle. Guess what? I'm on your neck. I went for everybody except Sean. I didn't go after him because he always paid me to drive him home, so we decided to work together and make an alliance. He scratched my back, I scratched his. But I still didn't trust him because the same nigga you break your neck for be the same nigga that cross you over and wet you up. Like, could you imagine if I was driving this man home and bro pull out the Nina on the highway and be like, you thought you was safe on this road? Say bye-bye, deuces. Son of a... We named our alliance the Jura Tempest Federation, JTF, based off of that time I got reincarnated as a slime, which is, by the way, fire anime! An 100% must watch. Anywho, we all didn't stop till it was the last man standing. Sooner or later, it got down to the three of us. Who's the third person, you might ask? Well, with our guard down, forgetting that there was one more person we forgot to fold while me and Sean were heading to the car. That was a warning shot. Son of a bitch. I think my Draco might be gay. Huh? Why? Cause it blow niggas. Oh, move your feet, nigga, run! I'm going. And that's when he realized his clip was empty, so he runs back to his car. We got back to my car, pop the trunk. I'm trying. I open the trunk, we equip the straps, we both hop in the car. He hops in his car and we all hang out the window firing shots back and forth at each other in the parking lot while driving. And you would think that there would be some sort of panic happening nearby, but what happened was the complete opposite. There wasn't nobody running, fearing for their safety, screaming, no nothing. Everybody in the area was just chilling like nothing was happening, as if they were just used to this type of activity. The cops too, they were just sitting there chilling, minding their business as if they weren't witnessing a drive-by in the middle of the parking lot. So after some time, all three of our clips were empty and the only people left standing were still the three of us. And luckily, nobody got hurt because it was just Nerf guns. Oh, did I forget to mention? Yeah, it was just Nerf guns the entire time. God, your stupid ass. We had a Nerf gun. We had a Nerf gun war. That's it. Huh, y'all thought it was real straps or something? Nope. What? Don't look at me like that. It ain't my fault you're bad at picking up on stuff. Oh! Hey, yo, do your boy a favor. Show this video to a friend and don't tell them it was Nerf guns until they figure it out at the end. Love y'all niggas. See y'all next week. So, like I made clear in previous videos, I used to have a lot of friend girls growing up. Not girlfriends, but friend girls. So, let's just use the official term, female friends. And you're probably thinking, why? How? Well, no lo sé. There were 3 types of females I associated myself with back then. First off, we got the 55 overalls, the ones that I may or may not have found attractive and actually had a genuine vibe with them because I actually wanted to get to know them. And also, I enjoyed their presence because they didn't give me a headache in the first 3 minutes of talking. In conclusion, I gave them the title as one of my female friends. Next, we got the 95 overalls, the ones that I found attractive and actually had interest in getting to know. And lastly, the 99 overalls, the ones that I found attractive, but I had 0 interest in getting to know because I only had one mission. Mello. Huh? I think we found it. I'm gonna make this very clear before we start. This is who I used to be. I'm not the same person I was years ago, and not even a month ago. So even though I tell y'all about my past, I continue to grow into a better person every day. So back in my gardening tool days, yes, I used to be for the streets. There was this one delusional 99 overall in particular that I associated myself with during sophomore year of college. We're gonna call her Maya. And Maya had a thick, scrumptious personality. Okay, I'm obviously joking because she had the personality and attention span of a gas station squirrel. But I let it slide just this one time because Maya was so fine. I'm talking about scrum-dilly-icious. From the neck down. Shorty was built like an hourglass, like her thighs and her waist was built like a Mario Kart curve. And that booty, she had a dump truck. My nigga, what is her at? I need her at, obviously, for research purposes. I didn't want to get to know Maya, nor did I want anything to do with her. Not because I just wanted her to take my horse to the old town road and ride till she can't no more. No, it was because we were friends without benefits. Never heard of that term before? Probably, because the correct term is friends with benefits, which means we are friends with sexual chemistry, but we're just friends. Basically, both sides allow access to the benefits with no strings attached, which is kind of hard because some people get attached. Now, friends without benefits is a little different. Like, you still have access to the same benefits, but one side of the party is playing the other side like a Nintendo Switch by acting different when it's time to get down to business. Most of the time by leading that person on and making excuses. And even though I was the one getting played, for a short period of time, I was on a mission. I did what I had to do. Do what? Waste your time? We went to events on campus together with some friends and she only wanted me to sit next to her. At the end of the night, you trying to slide to the room? She said yeah after she finished what she said she had to do. Never came.
Mission failed. We'll get 'em next time.
We'd be in the main building, 2nd floor at night, viciously flirting. I'm talking about the intimacy levels were so sky high that we can hear people in the background being like, "Hey man, get a hotel, man." At the end of the vicious flirting, you trying to slide to the room? She said yeah after she got done what she had to do. Never came.
Mission failed. We'll get 'em next time.
We'd be in the main building, 2nd floor again, chilling after class, and she'd be cuddled up on me like we were dating, which is not a good idea because I didn't want anybody thinking that I wasn't available. Are you trying to slide? She said yeah after she finished what she had to do. Never came.
Hey, bro, come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
And it's like, bro, she made an excuse the day after, had me all in high hopes that ended in a low blow. Like, that's the equivalent of blue balls. And she did this on a regular. I had options and all, but she was the thickest one. Like, a piece of gum, she chewed me up and spat me out. Like, she didn't even swallow me. Somebody say swallow? I remember this one time she came to see me so we could chill on the 2nd floor, and I saw this fat hickey on her neck. And of course, that ain't my business, but she said the night before she had something important to do when I tried to make plans with her. So, where did that hickey come from? I thought you said you had something important to do. She started laughing. I may have had an appointment last night. So you had a dick appointment. That wasn't me. Now why would I do that? You're like a brother to me, bro. Did this bitch just brothers on me? I thought we were friends with Benny's, my nigga. She had me confused because she was still flirting with me and denying me at the same time. Like, so are we friends with Benny's or not? Looking back on it now, I know what she wanted. Big dick energy. It's obvious I didn't know that back then. I am not BSing when I say this. Every sentence that came out this girl's mouth after that ended in bro. That's like the lowest of the low status you can get with a female. Like, it's below the friend zone. And it got so annoying because she would say it over and over, and we argued and argued. And after like the 15th time she said it, in my head, I'm like, if you call me bro one more time, I'ma break every single fingernail you have. Gee golly, Batman, you're going in to save her? Psh, Batman who? Psh, it ain't my time to clock in yet. Right now, I'm Bruce Wayne. Okay, bro. But then I thought to myself, wait, I'm wasting my oxygen on somebody I don't care for. After that, I stopped pursuing her because obviously I was wasting my time, and every week after that, she would hit my line like we cool or something and would still end her sentences off in bro, like, dog, you're one of the 95 overalls. Didn't I make it clear what my intentions were? Did I respond? No, because I left her on what? Red. And when the semester ended and we all went home, she got pregnant by some guy months later and tried to ask me to be the godfather. Like, this girl's more delusional than I thought. What do you take me for, a joke? What type of person in that position would ask a person that type of question? Like, she lost a couple screws in her head or something. The utter audacity to ask me, out of all people, that. Like, bruh, she's smoking that 7 Deadly Sins season 3 animation pack. Like, I physically lost a brain cell reading that in 4K. Like, I don't even know your last name. And yep, I saw her on my Instagram timeline the other day with her kid. She still attempts to text me to this day. If there was anything I learned from this story after it took place in my life, is that making connections is mandatory, which, even though I'm an omnivert, I have no problem with, because knowing certain people personally opened up a lot of doors for me to walk out of situations like this. So to start off, I had a couple of family friends I grew up with, but none of them stood out more than the coolest friend I had. We're gonna call him by his nickname I gave him, B-Rye. Y'all ever had that one friend's house growing up that you always went over and it's like a breath of fresh air compared to back at your house? Yeah. Going over B-Rye's house was lit, especially when the squad came over. We'd play video games, we'd watch movies from time to time, we'd trash talk and be loud, we'd binge watch anime a lot, we'd talk about the baddest chicks at school for like 40 seconds and only kept it at 40 seconds to a minute because regular niggas don't sit around and talk about girls for hours. And if you do that, then you're a weirdo. We got other things to worry about, like playing 2K or when's the next chin hair gonna grow out or something. Sometimes we go into the backyard and fight with the swords B-Rye had. Whenever we'd get hungry, we'd all walk to Walmart, which back then was like an adventure because a lot of us didn't have cars. Walking around the neighborhood with friends used to be gas. You know, boys just being boys. When B-Rye's dad was home, he'd always allow us to drink the sodas out the fridge and eat pizza sometimes. And I'ma just throw into the universe that just because his dad allowed us to do all those things doesn't mean I thought his dad was cool. He and I were on mutual terms because whenever I'd come over, our conversations wouldn't even be conversations. You get what I'm conversating? I'd walk into the house, say hello, then got to stepping. All because B-Rye's dad had work in the mornings, so he wouldn't come home until later in the afternoon. And I didn't want to disturb his inner peace sitting on his couch watching his football games with a soda right next to him. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Also, keep in mind that B-Rye's dad was a retired military man. Remember that, because that's key to the story. Overall, B-Rye's house was the go-to for our squad for many years. Fast forward to my sophomore year at college, and by this time, new people came along in the squad. Some people don't talk anymore. Blah, 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 blah. I get it, people come and go. Now, almost every day after all my classes were done, I'd spend a couple hours working on a video, then after, head over to hang with my homies. Priorities first, fun last. You gotta respect that, cause your boy was on the come up grind at the time. On regular days, my currently updated squad had 2 places we'd hang out. On the 2nd floor of the main campus building and the game room, which was also in the main building. One day, me and my boy Sean decides to pick up B-Rye, who was like 25 minutes away from us, cause we haven't seen him in some months. And at first we weren't gonna go get him, but I don't know if you noticed, newsflash, cars don't run off of love and affection. I needs the monies. So I was like, it's whatever, it's B-Rye, so I'll pull some strings. We go pick him up and bring him to the campus and go to the first spot, the game room. And keep in mind, we had our bags down on the floor along with other people's bags right next to ours. And mind you, Sean had 2 bags, an art bag and a school bag. We shooting some pool, playing some ping pong, B-Rye sitting down watching. After some time we get tired, we leave and we make our way to the library. We get there, pull out the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some time passes and Sean looks at me and is like, yo Mello, that was my nickname back in college. I think I left my 2nd book bag back at the game room, which was across campus. Can you and B-Rye do me a favor and go get it, cause I got class? I'm like, okay, I don't mind. Vamonos, everybody let's go. So we venture back to the game room and here's where things get ugly. When we get to the game room, we notice that everybody's bags are gone except for his, and the bag is still in the same area where he left it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's his bag. Still in the same spot, nobody stole it, cool. I grab it, we make our way to the library, and dog, I kid you not, as soon as we get to the library, we get back to Sean. He looks in the bag and notices that's not his bag. Oh, crap. The only thing on our minds was to get to stepping. So we rush out the library and make our way as fast as possible to the game room to put the bag back. And before we ever even got the chance to see the game room in our distance, 2 cops pull up. Oh, crap. They get out their cars, beep their radios, and is like, yeah, 1025, we got the suspects in custody.
10-4, bring him in.
Whoa, 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 wait, whoa, suspects? What you mean suspects? What does look like, Among Us? He starts pulling out some handcuffs.
Don't worry, my brother, we just gotta detain y'all and take you down to the station for some questioning. Now put your hands behind your back.
Now, officer, just listen. This is a misunderstanding. I can explain.
Oh no, this ain't no misunderstanding. We saw the cameras.
Camera? What you mean, cameras? Everybody around us sitting back and watching like it's a freaking football game. And at this point, we both nervous and scared. But me? I'm also pissed because we didn't know what was about to happen. The whole day was chill until this bull crap happened. But all I know is I wanted to scream thug life so bad while getting into that car, which was the wrong mindset to have at the time, because that life ain't nothing to glorify. All it does is bring you some pain and some jail time. For anybody watching that's been in handcuffs before, y'all know that, bruh, it is so uncomfortable. They put us both in 2 separate cars and take us down to the library. But for what? And as soon as we pull up, coincidentally, Sean walks out at the same time they pull up. Talk about divine timing. They tell him that they're detaining him and why, and to get in the car. And of course, with no hesitation, he agrees. But they didn't put handcuffs on this nigga, bro. I was just talking to these 2 about this memory before recording and animating it, and I'm still mad at the fact that they didn't get him handcuffed. Why? Why were we the only 2 in the cars that were freaking handcuffed? I don't get that. They take us down to the police station. They unhandcuffed us. We walk inside and they tell us to sit down in the chairs on the wall for questioning. Now, keep in mind, there were 3 cops in that room with us. One light-skinned cop that looked at us like we slapped his wife or something. A dark-skinned cop that was sitting at his desk on his computer laughing and joking on us. Ah, look at y'all mud suckers out here committing crimes. Ah, who's the real Dirty Dan? I guess I'm the real Dirty Dan, pinhead. Uh-oh, we got a real comedian over here. He must have not made it, because that's why he's here. And a brown-skinned cop that was dogging us.
You did it. You did it. I know you did it. Stop lying to me. I know y'all stole the boy's bag. You can't fool me.
Stole the boy's bag? We didn't steal a bag. This is Sean's stuff.
We got a call from somebody saying that their bag was stolen from the game room, and we saw 2 of you on the cameras that picked it up and left. And Patrick Starr over here was associated with y'all hours before. So admit it. Y'all stole it.
Bruh, we constantly argued to this man that we did not steal this man's bag and that this was a misunderstanding because the bag that we took looked exactly like Sean's second bag. And of course, this old man dogs us for 30 straight minutes while looking through our bags.
Stop lying to me, son. Just admit it. Y'all stole it. I swear I'll throw you in jail for lying to me.
Bruh, the more I heard this man yell at us with his fish breath, the more I felt like we were gonna start smelling like old man throat. I'm sitting in my chair like, look at us, old nigga. Do we look like the type to steal? You literally found Yu-Gi-Oh cards, a bunch of childhood drawings, and a pack of gum in Sean's bag. And this man B-Rye got a Pokemon trainer hat and a messenger bag. And I just got a computer and some cards. Who are we hurting? Stink meaner? The old fart's like,
if somebody don't fess up, all y'all are going to jail because I don't like liars.
And the other two cops leave into the back after trying to get our IDs. And bro, we were all literally so stressed out because we didn't want to go to jail for a misunderstanding and the fact that this man literally is dogging us for absolutely no reason because they looked us up and we didn't have any freaking criminal history. It got to the point where me and Sean just accepted our fates and was ready to do the time, and we agreed to make a song when we get out on some T Grizzly type ish. Until my boy B-Rye, the legend, the GOAT, pulled out the Uno wild card on these niggas, bro, and used the realest jutsu known to the anime community. Talk no jutsu. B-Rye explained to the man that his dad was a strict top-level military man and that he raised him on being honest and to never tell a lie, and felt that military kids aren't like that. And then he further explained that he grew up with me and Sean and that we'd never do something like that, and promised this man that we weren't lying, and if we did, then he'd take full responsibility. All as the other two cops are walking out. And in my mind, I'm like, bruh, all that pillow talking ain't gonna work on a dude like him, but we don't got that many more weapons in our arsenal, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. And bruh, I kid you not, as soon as the other two cops completely leave, this old man's expression went from pissed and determined to sympathetic and surprised after hearing that. We definitely did not know what was about to happen after that because he tells me and B-Rye to go into the break room and for Sean to wait on the wall. And when I say this conversation happened like the others, this conversation even shocked me. Old man looks at us and he's like,
all right, boys, listen. I'm gonna let you go, but only because your friend seemed genuine and his father is a part of the military. I thank your father for his service, and I don't think that military kids would tell lies like that.
That's crazy because I know plenty of military kids that lie.
My apologies for coming at you so hard out there. I was just doing my job, you know, just doing my job.
So you telling me you did all that rah to keep your cop status in check around your coworkers? Reasonable.
However, it's under one condition. You can't step on this campus ever again. If I see you, you getting arrested for trespassing. Understood?
Now in my mind, I'm like, B-Rye's dad is the GOAT. No, matter of fact, thank God for putting the thought in our head to go get B-Rye that day. Cause imagine if that would have happened and B-Rye wasn't there to save us with his dad's military cred. We walked out that room and Sean looked at us confused, but I gave him the nigga get your stuff, don't say a word, and let's go look. Instantly, he knew exactly what I meant. He got his stuff, the old man gave us our bags back, and he drove us back to the campus. In the rain. When we got dropped off in the rain, we ran over to my car, freaked out for like 20 minutes, and yeah. After we calmed down, I told the guys I was gonna make a video out of this one day. So here we are. After that day, we didn't mention it to B-Rye's dad, but every time I saw him, I'd tell him thank you without telling him why, and he'd look at me like a crazy person. Also, we never brought B-Rye back to campus, ever. Moral of the story, in some situations, it's about who you know, not what you know. Y'all ever heard of a pick-me person? It's basically like a person who begs for the attention, acceptance, or approval of somebody. Now, I don't know about you, but I found out real quick how annoying this type of person can be a good minute ago. I remember this one day back in sophomore year of college, I was leaving the gym on my Hot Boy Summer type beat, you know what I'm saying? Showing off my bulging muscles that I would have had if, you know, I just worked a little harder. I get back to my dorm room and my friend Jerry, that was in my circle, but not completely in my circle, he hits me up and is like, yo, me and some other homies finna be chilling at Facilities 2 tonight. If you ain't got nothing else to do, slide, fam. And of course I accept because 1, he's one of the homies I actually enjoy being around, and 2, every night back then you would usually find me at certain spots on campus anyway doing God knows what, living that campus life. One night you might find me in the main building, 2nd floor with my core group, high off of life. Another night you might find me in one of my friends' dorms, high off of life, chilling, doing God knows what. Then another night you might find me outside at events or in the game room with my core group, high off of life, doing God knows what. I was all over the place making memories, bruh. I loved every second of it too. My campus life was literally a movie. Later that night, I pull up to Facilities 2, which was one of the high-class co-ed dorm buildings on campus. Now, this place was like paradise compared to the dorms I stayed at, which was basically the trap, literally. Both of the dorms I stayed in my first 2 years, nicknames were the trap. I learned the hard way why it was given that name the minute I got to college. Now, usually when I'd hang out with Jerry in Facilities 2, he'd always have like 2 other friends with him that I really didn't care if they were there or not. But this time it was different because I looked through the glass and I saw that he brought a girl with him, and not just any girl. A girl that I personally knew and had some conversations with before, but could tell off the dribble by the way she acted that she was fighting some very heavy internal demons, I might say. I mean, it wasn't nothing I couldn't handle. Like, I didn't have no problem with her yet. We're gonna call her Gwen. I get inside and knew off the dribble there was a disturbance in the force. Something was very off about this picture because the way she reacted to everything was not normal, my guy. She was viciously trying to seek the attention of every guy walking through that room. And I do mean every guy walking through that room, thus becoming a pick-me girl. Soon as she see me, she Millie rock over my way and get all up in my personal space, bro. Like, I ain't get no room to breathe. And she greeted me, but like in a very psychotic way. Like, shorty was acting strange, very much lunatic behavior. Like, there was something real loony about this tune. Whole time in my head, I'm thinking like, bruh, this girl gotta be off a perk. And I was about to blow. But, however, I'm a person that chooses peace over chaos unless provoked, so I decided to back her up out of my personal space, bottle up my irritation, keep calm, and be nice to her, and just tried to have a regular conversation. Cause it's clear internally she was going through it, you know? Which was a bad idea because that gave her exactly what she wanted. This created a misconception in her mind about my motives. See, ain't nothing wrong with being nice to somebody and just having a regular conversation with them. But trying to have a regular conversation with a borderline psychopath that clearly has different intentions with you is pretty much mental suicide. That's like trying to have a regular conversation with Toga from My Hero. It ain't gonna end well, especially if she likes you. So after putting me through mental gymnastics, she started hitting me with all these random questions, and I ain't even gonna drag this out. I'm gonna keep it short. Let me tell y'all how weird this conversation got. She was asking me how she could get basketball players to like her and that she's used to guys coming up to her first. It definitely don't look like it. And that it hasn't been happening lately, so she's trying to shoot her shot first this time, but she doesn't know if they find her attractive. So I say to her, look, if you're trying to take the first approach route, then you won't know until you shoot your shot and figure out yourself. You can't expect a hit if you don't swing. I don't know about anybody else, but if I find somebody attractive, I'm gonna show it through my actions or just tell them. And as soon as I said that, she looked at me so viciously and was like, well, Mello, that was my nickname back in college, do you find me attractive? Nani? Now, I don't know about my boy Jerry, but in my eyes, Gwen was a 55 overall Hall of Fame plate cleaner with no badges. Her and Big Mom from One Piece had a little something in common, and I'll be the first person to tell you I was not attracted to shorty in any type of way. Never will be. I came, I saw, I did not want to conquer. What I really wanted to say, I'm glad I didn't, because I had a very fly mouth back then, and still do. I'm working on it, but I could switch from nice to menace to society timing and be cutthroat whenever I felt like it. But however, I decided to just choose the calm, honestly nice, not brutally honest, but calm, honestly nice route, because I remember what my dad told my mom once. On the other side of what you say is another human being. So I just let her off with a light, you not ugly, but I just don't find you attractive. Shorty gets angered, big fella. Like, what you getting mad for? Plenty of females have told me the exact same thing. I ain't obligated to like you. From the way you was acting, I could tell you were scared of rejection already, but I ain't realized it was this bad. Every emotion after that towards me from her was very petty and malicious. She was doing everything in her power to make me feel like straight dog water, but everything she threw at me, I countered with no reaction. Like, she was trying, but whole time I was just like,
Okay.
so I walk off to one of the couches and tried my best to ignore her and just kick it with the homies, cause she was getting on my last nerve. 3 minutes later, this girl I knew that was always in the game room, we're gonna rename her Drea, walks in the lobby looking stressed, but not stressed. She immediately looks in my direction, walks over to me, pulls me to the side, says to me in the most stressed but not stressed, seductive looking face, she needs to talk to me about a problem in private over by the stairway, which is the same place that leads to the dorm room she lived in. So at first I'm thinking like, a problem? Oh, right, I might be able to fix it. Then I remembered, oh, never mind, ain't nothing finna happen. She actually does look stressed out about something. But that don't mean I can't be the reliever, you know what I'm saying? She grabs my hand and we walk over to the stairway. And as soon as we get to the door, wait!
Check it out.
Gwen was going ham trying to get my attention. She would not stop running her mouth. Her energy was through the roof. Like, let me be great, woman. She done already made up in her mind what she thought was about to happen between me and Drea, and she might have been right. But I don't even know the end of this story yet either. She was messing up my possible happy ending, therapy session. I was trying to give her signals like, yo, you don't get you cock blocking me, leave, little thot. It got so chaotic to the point where I could just see the disgust in Drea's eyes. Like, we was looking at each other like, this girl need more than help. Off the rip, Drea was not having it and was like, you know what, Mello? Go on ahead. It must be very important. We'll talk later. I'll see you in the game room. She gives me the hug and leaves the room. What was so important that you stopped me for?
Well, do you find me attractive at all?
Are you kidding me? There comes a time in almost every man's life where they participate in simp activity. You get erect over a girl, fall in love, or what you think is love, then you do stupid stuff. But wait, there's more. The same thing goes for my female viewers out there towards the men you fall in love with. But we're gonna focus on the fellas right now. Some live and learn, the people that were betas and now alphas, and some don't. The betas that are still betas to this day because they don't want to change. Believe it or not, in the times we live in now, there's a lot of people out there that don't have a clear understanding of what a simp really is and just be throwing the word out there all incorrectly just for the hype. I think this is just a toxic thing, but if you show even the slightest bit of chivalry, simp! I just want to point out there's nothing wrong with chivalry, but if you go overboard, fellas, if you know, you know. Now understand, I'm a nice guy at heart, but don't get it twisted, screwed, and tightened. There's two sides of me, the WAP igniter and the gentle warrior. These two sides developed because I've had a lot of alpha moments, big dog status, and a lot of simp moments, poodle status. But the alpha moments came from living and learning from the beta moments. And over time, I started to master the art of the alpha, AKA the masculine frame. So that's why I'm gonna tell y'all about probably one of the most embarrassing simp moments I've ever had. I might even make a series on it, I don't know. To start off, I remember back at the start of sophomore year of college, I met this one scrumptious shorty, we're gonna call her, let's just throw a name up. Tyja. Yeah, that's a good name. Man, this girl was fine as apple wine. Hey, she wasn't the ripest apple in the tree, but I definitely picked her. See, I really liked ED, past tense, this shorty, ever since the day I met her, and she never knew that until the day we stopped talking a year later. And I ain't afraid to say it, I kept it low key, but the whole time I knew her, I turned off my alpha energy and simped for her. I don't know why. That was the worst mistake I made that year, because I'm not supposed to be out here simping for girls. I'm supposed to be out here looking for the cat. I'm a coochie scout.
I'm just playing. I'm supposed to be out here focusing on myself. But alas, in the past, the coochie triumph. It got so bad to the point where whenever we'd have conversations, in my mind, I'd be like, why are you still talking and not in our living room with our 2 kids watching anime? And that ain't even a cherry on top, because whenever we'd hang out and chill, I'd be throwing subliminal hints at her through my body language, basically screaming, hey, I like you. Now, you know that's some simp energy when you're struggling to tell a girl how you feel when you should have been straightforward with her. Like, this ain't high school, nigga. A woman wants a man that knows what he wants and ain't a coward about it.
What do you want from me?
Get that bread, get that head, then leave.
Peace out.
Now, this one is probably one simp level below buying OnlyFans, but it is what it is. Whenever I'd see her, I'd get way too excited, drop everything I'd be doing, and go talk to her, even if it was just a hey. Now that is simping on a different level and will not be tolerated now. Like, is you that thirsty, my nigga? Somebody get this man some agua. We got Aquafina and Fiji. Ugh. Where's Toonsies when you need them? I'm so glad I'm not like that anymore. I think I need to make a story on my alpha moments ASAP. Now, let me tell y'all about the moment that made me never simp again. So it was this one day I'm sitting in a Chick-fil-A line in the main building of our college, about hungry a little bit. I order my food, wait like 10 minutes to get my delicacies and my drink, put the straw on my tongue like it's a toothpick, then I skedaddle. I pull up to the exit right beside the game room, and keep in mind, the game room walls are see-through glass. So as people play games, you can see everybody outside walking to and fro wherever they decide to go. Bars, nigga. And as I'm walking towards the exit, which was also see-through glass, well, I see, Tyja walking outside beside the game room, making her way to the cafeteria. And like I said, at the time, I turned off my alpha energy that year for whatever reason, I don't remember. And also, like I said, I get excited every time I see her. So the first thing on my mind was not to catch her some other time and mind my own business. It was to run with a straw in my mouth to my car, to catch up to her, to say hi. Oh, brother, this guy's a simp! Now, what I'm about to tell y'all is short nigga problems and should never be repeated. Ever. Without thinking, I run towards my car to the driver door. And keep in mind, I'm 5'6", so my mouth is parallel to the door. And as soon as I open the door, bruh, I opened the door so fast that the door ran into the straw that was currently in my mouth, pushing the straw into the back of my throat, making the biggest cut to my flesh in the back of my throat. And bruh, when I tell you, every time I tried to talk, it felt like 1,000 knives cutting my vocal cords at sonic speed. It's like God was trying to teach me a big lesson that day to stop simping at top tier level. Cause after that, guess what I stopped doing? I had to sit there for an entire day sounding like a fish out of water. My friends would ask me what happened and I'd have to text them to talk cause I couldn't speak. That was a pain I never felt before. However, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know I made a video called High as a Kite. In that story, I told y'all about the first time I was introduced to edibles. And I said in that video that, believe it or not, depending on the strand, edibles healed a lot of my wounds whenever I take them. And guess what? This was one of those times. Now again, I don't condone doing drugs. I'm just telling you about my experiences with them, which at times were horrible and sometimes good, but don't do them. I ain't no doctor. I'm just assuming it heals wounds because it healed my wound at the time. Don't know how and don't care. So after suffering literal hours with this injury, I took the edible, and when it kicked in, the area where my cut wound was went numb and it kept tingling like it was healing itself or something. And luckily, after going to sleep and waking up like a couple hours later, I could talk again. Moral of the story, grow a pair and stop simping. Thank you for your time. Confidence. Almost 100 years passed and some rando discovered the new avatar, a confidence vendor named Devonte. And although his confidence skills were great, he still has a lot to learn before he can save the homies. But I believe Devonte could save the world. So I'm sitting in my dorm room watching Rick and Morty, my dorm neighbors in the room next to me clapping cheeks. Sounds like a normal night on campus, nothing out of the ordinary. You know, that's cool and all, but I got a little bit annoyed, so I turned up the TV a little bit more because the girl was getting too loud. Like, I couldn't hear my TV, dog. Sheesh. That man putting in that work, knocking them ankles loose. I get a text from my girl during that time. We're not gonna use her real name. We're gonna use something different. We're gonna call her Ebony. And she's like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, "Watching TV. What about you?"
You must be watching TV with them other hoes.
Hate to break it to you, but I'm a loyal man.
Why didn't you answer my text 20 minutes ago?
I was playing the game. I was going 30-2 and forgot about my phone. Haven't we talked about this before?
You liar! That's probably just an excuse to go text your other hoes.
I'm a loyal man. Cheating's for little boys. If I didn't want you, I wouldn't cheat on you. I'd just break up with you and go mess with somebody else.
Well, if you don't want me, then just say it.
I was thinking two things. She either got trust issues or she's playing the blame game right now. The next morning, we sitting in a library studying because we got an exam around 12, and out of the blue, she gets a call from a person named Destiny, and she declines the call at like light speed, bro. I've never seen her decline a call so fast in my life, but never really have I saw a person named Destiny in her friend group, so I just assumed it was, you know, a friend I didn't know about. And maybe she declined it because she didn't want any distractions from her studying. But then I thought to myself, doesn't she usually pick up the call, then tell her friend she's busy, and then hangs up when she's doing something? Then it happened again, but this time it was a person named 𝤉𝐿𝐿. Okay. All right. 5 minutes later, it happens again, but this time it was a person named Alexis. Yeah, you not gonna pick up the calls?
No, I'm busy.
Okay. Dog, that same night I'm in my room chilling at like 7 p.m. I text her to come over and bruh, tell me why I don't even get a reply back. She just shows up like 5 hours later at my door unannounced, and she stood like 10 feet away from me and she looked like she was in a hurry. And I'm like, hold up, you tweaking, shorty. Where you was? She like,
calm down, my phone was dead.
I'm like, your phone was dead for 5 hours.
Yeah.
She walks in, puts her stuff down, grabs some stuff to go take a shower, and she heads out to take the shower. I'm like, all right, whatever. Let me just play Attack on Titan until she gets out. And as soon as I start up the game, I hear bzzz. I look back at the bed and it's her phone. And the person calling was the same person I saw before at the library, Alexis. And in my head, I'm thinking, even though she my girl, ain't I saying? I don't want to have to be the one to tell him that she's in the shower, cause that's her phone. She can call Alexis back when she gets out the shower. So I let it ring until it stopped. Around like 2 minutes passes by while I'm slaying some titans and the same person calls again. I'm like, that's none of my business. So I let it ring until it stopped. Then like 30 seconds later, that same Alexis calls and calls and calls. Bro, she called Ebony like 10 times. Like, I was getting annoyed at that point. So I was just like, let me just tell these people that she's in the shower and she'll call you back. Hello?
Huh? What the? Hello? You must be her brother or something.
Who this?
Nigga, who you is?
I'm her boyfriend. Who are you?
Oh. I guess we all her boyfriend, huh?
Hey, bruh, you know what? You can have her. Get out. So this is a part 2 to the previous She Belongs To video I did, She Belongs To The Galaxy, which is part 1 of the new She Belongs To series. Not the old She Belongs To series I did a couple months ago. Throw that in the trash. That was my old animation and my old way of telling stories. If you want to go see it and probably compare it to the one I got right now, be my guest. So if you haven't seen part 1 of this series, pause right now, go watch it, and come back so you can understand what's about to happen in this video. All right, everybody good? Cool? Let's get it cracking.
Cue the intro.
Confidence, integrity, accountability, communication. Long ago, even though they were divided, the two nations lived together in harmony. And then, everything changed when the Sims attacked. Only the Alphatar, master of all 4 elements, could stop them. But when we needed him most, he vanished. Almost 100 years passed and some rando discovered the new Alphatar, a confidence vendor named Devonte. And although his confidence skills were great, he still has a lot to learn before he could save the homies. But I believe Devonte could save the world. Get out. What are you talking about? Obviously, she doesn't know she belongs to the— Silence! I got this. Get your stuff, walk to my door, and skedaddle. Oh, so that's how you feel? You don't care about me no more? Okay, so you trying to act dumb now like you don't see this phone in my hand. All right, I guess you didn't get the message.
Bitch. The door.
Wow, so this how you gonna do me? Niggas ain't. Who is Alexis? I told you she was a friend. She started panicking. Wait, I can explain. Nah, there ain't nothing to explain. Get out. You're such an a-hole. You really gonna kick me out with just a towel? What if people see me? My nigga, I don't care if King Kai saw you. Get out. I'm not going nowhere. Get the frick out. But I can't. Bruh, I'm trying to ask you nicely to get out. Stop calling me your bruh. I'm not your bruh. Aight, bruh. She started getting mad and was looking around the room for some things to throw at me because that's usually what she does when she gets mad at me. And of course, she couldn't find nothing, so she grabs her stuff and leaves. Was I sad that I lost a dime piece? No, because her mind didn't match what her body had. I'm a high value male. I didn't need them problems. I ain't lose a dime. I lost a headache. W's in the chat. That same night I'm chilling in my bed watching some anime and I got a text from her. She's like, I'm sorry. Take me back. You were so good to me. I'll do anything. Anything?
Perfect.
Look at me, look at me. I am the captain now. So I ignored her. I went back to watching some Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. 10 minutes later, she calls me 39 times. And I'm like, whoa, wait. Is this girl simping for me? Never had a girl simp for me before. Even so, that ain't my problem. So I blocked her. The next day I'm in class early AF before anyone got there like usual. And most of the time I'd hear people outside in the hallway talking cause the door was open. But this time it was different because I heard Ebony this time. On top of that, she was walking with somebody and I'm like, wait a minute. she don't got class in this building. Her class around this time is on the other side of the campus. And the conversation I heard from them definitely grinded my gears, because that gave me confirmation that this was definitely a plot twist I did not expect.
Thanks for walking to class with me, best friend. Girl, it's whatever. I needed to walk in a different direction anyway. I saw my side nigga and my money nigga in the same area. Girl, you got it like that? Of course. I got a guy for each of my needs. I got a side nigga, one that gives me money, one that buys me food, one that's my plug, my main nigga, Devonte. Ooh, child. Speaking of him, girl, I had to fake cry and text that nigga last night just to get him back so I can get what I want. Girl, I thought you cared about him. I used to care about him until I found someone better. You think I wanted to call that nigga 30-something times last night? I don't care about him. I just want the attention and the car rides he gave me. Child, Ebony, I swear you never satisfied. Whatever. I got an exam. Bye. All right. Bye, best friend.
All right, I'm gonna make this very clear. I don't give a freak what anybody else tell you. In college, everybody's some freaks. Everybody horny. I cannot tell you how many days I saw countless cheeks being beat through windows, and I wasn't a part of it. Like, you know how hard it was trying to suppress my urge to get in some guts while being surrounded by so much coochie because I wanted to maintain my wholesomeness and not fornicate? Like, I had God dancing up there in heaven every time I defeated my urge to become a coochie scout. Because like I said, everybody in college are some freaks.
So you telling me you've met every single person in college?
Speaking of freaks, I got this one friend. We're not gonna use her real name. We're gonna call her Maddie. I knew Maddie belonged to the multiverse the second I met her back in freshman year of college when we both met on a party bus 3 years ago. And throughout these 3 years I've known her, she's consistently shown me why I was right. Because she's done some very questionable things, like very much 5-star thought activity. Now, keep in mind, Maddie was not a snack. Maddie was a whole dinner, and she still is. The girl bad, very appealing to the eye, even to this day. She got curves, she cute, she got melanin, and that thing back there fat. However, she had a lot of insecurities and she was a broken female. See, she would use these insecurities and brokenness as an excuse to do whatever she wanted, which was to get validation from guys by having as much fun as possible before she graduates. Now, I ain't got no business telling a girl what she should do with her body, but dang, bro, like, it's like she became a straw hat pirate and set sail across the Grand Line just to find the one piece of dick. Bro, it was so bad that she became the school thought, because almost every dude in her circle that I would somehow end up having conversations with would tell me all about how they had a taste of her, they homies too, they classmates, how they were surprised that I didn't have a taste of her, which I almost did, but I declined at the last moment and strictly became friends with her because one day she came to me and my homie O's usual hangout spot in the main building, crying her eyes out about some dude smelling like straight cum. Even though she was crying, I honestly didn't care because I felt disrespected. Like, you didn't have the decency to take a shower before coming to school, bruh? You need to stop bathing in them tears and bathe in some soap. Bro, I heard and seen so much with my own eyes from her that it had me like, dang, this girl getting passed around like the collections plate at church on Sunday. Now, also keep in mind that from the time I was 17 up until I was 20, I had a good number of thought friends. And almost all of them were undercover thoughts that always told me about their little adventures sleeping around. And it would always boost their self-esteem telling me about it, which is what she would do from time to time whenever we talked. And see, I genuinely liked being around Shorty and enjoyed her presence ever since the first day we met. And she almost all the time had a good vibe regardless of what was going on in her life. And because of that, even though she was a thought, we still built this little friendly bond, a tiny pinch of friends with benefits action in the very beginning. That's why I got access to things other people didn't. But still, over time, a friendly bond. However, the girl was a freaking
airhead. Every time I tell her, hey, he ain't good for you, this and that is gonna happen, then she'd act like she listened and understood, then continue to put herself in bad situations, knowing they're bad situations every single time. Now remember, she's a thought, and a lot of dudes on campus were simping over her, treating her like the queen she never was just because she was fine. Couldn't be me. Yeah, she was a queen, all right. Of the streets. It ain't like I told her those things just because it's the right thing to do. No, I genuinely care for her mental health, because as I watched her dorm hop for appointments every night, I started to notice her mood dropping, and she became less of a happy person as the days went by. Like, some days it seemed like me and O were the only ones that cared, because we'd tell her things that she needed to hear, not things that she wanted to hear. But again, she was a stubborn airhead. You can't save somebody that don't want to be saved. I was getting tired of wasting my oxygen on shorty. Like, what was I supposed to be? Your therapist? Everything always went in one ear and out the other with her. Like, she never had a brain blast. She never listened up until this one day. She got this new boyfriend. And for like a couple months, they had this what looked like a happy relationship that actually turned out to be toxic behind closed doors. So when this pandemic hit a year ago and we all went home, I kind of lost hope for shorty. I ain't seen him since. Until the new semester of junior year started and the campus opened back up a couple months later. Even though I wasn't really in school for real because my YouTube was taking off, I decided to pull up to the campus again on the first day just to see what was popping, because honestly, that school gave me some of the best memories of my life. And you know what's crazy? She was the first person I ran into. Like, she pulled up to me on the side of the road, screamed my name, I ran up to her car, and we had this whole conversation about that relationship. And apparently it didn't end so well for her or him. Let's just say a lot of violence. I felt bad for her, man. But at the same time, I kind of didn't, because I told you this was going to happen. You put yourself in this situation, so that ain't none of my business now. Like, we barely even talk now. Maybe she's changed. Who knows? You know the old saying, you can try to take her out of the streets, but you can't take the streets out of her. So back in 2018, I had a girlfriend that I was always off and on with. Yes, her. I know y'all are tired of seeing her, but I was dead serious about having a lot of stories about this specific ex. Understand that I know the game and how to play it now, but I'm gonna tell this story from a perspective when I didn't know the game. I done did my time in the trenches. I ain't going back. Anywho, we were off and on because this was around the time where her feelings started to decrease daily for me over a course of a couple months. I'm talking about shawty's body language screamed, yawn, I don't want you no more, nigga. Cause she was the type of person that got bored and moved on really fast unless you could constantly entertain her. However, was it the fact that she was bored, or was it the fact that she was just used to toxic relationships? I blame myself, because at first she chased me in the beginning of the relationship. Then once I folded and she finally got me, I started chasing her. Fellas, understand that women, they love the grind, they love the chase. And when they lose attraction for you, they tend to leave the relationship mentally before they do physically. And that's something I didn't pick up on around this time. Confuzzled like shiz, boy. So what would she do? She would start chaos just to keep herself entertained, like starting arguments, thus leading to the infamous phrase, I need a break. Red freaking flag. Let the hoe go. Everywhere we went, she'd find something to argue about, then would bring up how her ex wouldn't do whatever the topic of argument was. Then it would lead to an issue, then a break. Mind you, she was still friends with her ex. That was her first everything, the imprint. And I didn't even know. Red freaking flag. Let the hoe go. Listen, ladies, fellas, 99.9% of the time, a break is just a stepping stone towards a breakup and an excuse for them to go cheat with other people. And then when you find out, they hit you with the, well, we were on the break. Bruh, throughout those span of the months, that happened every time. Argument, break, she cheat, I didn't know about it. We come back together for whatever reason. You know who she cheated with? You guessed it, her ex.
I didn't know a thing. If I would have known what breaks meant back then, this would be an entirely different video. Back then, I thought breaks were just, we take some time off, get our thoughts together, go see a therapist maybe, Then when we put ourselves back in check, I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. Her version of it was, oh, I'm gonna get my back blown out by some other nigga because he pissed me off, and I don't really feel like doing the opposite and working it out, even though it's a committed relationship. Because of the mental state I was at the time, being a pup, scrappy-doo, it made things worse. Every time we got back together after a break, I wanted to chase her validation even more by doing things for her, doing all the wrong things, which was stupid. Listen to me and listen to me well, my shinobi of the Mellow Mafia. Never, ever chase anybody's affection, love, or anything of that nature. Attracted. I did all of that, not knowing a thing, until the day she allowed herself to get caught in 4K. But the way she did it was mad disrespectful. I still can't believe it. Man, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the day before her birthday. And mind you, beforehand, I have never done this for any, and I mean any girl that I've had a relationship with before her. I did the worst thing you could think of at the state I was in that she did not deserve. I decided to throw her a party. I know. I get it. I know. Not like a big party, but just something to show her that I cared. Cake, presents, and all that. Still ignorant to what breaks are and what she's done on them. So it went like this. My homie and his mom at the time was kind enough to let me throw the party at his crib since my parents wasn't having it. It was supposed to be a surprise party, so I head to the store, gets the cake, gets the card, gets the presents, all that stuff she ain't deserve. Ready the day before. Put it all in my trunk, locked and loaded. Fast forward to the next day, 6 a.m., wake her up with the birthday call and the birthday song, the regular version and the black version. Boy, I was doing it all for somebody that didn't even deserve it. Later that day, I pick her up and had her think this was just a regular hangout day with the homies, because as I stated before in previous videos, she was a part of the group because she was close friends with a person that a lot of y'all probably might remember. One of our friends back then, his name was O. Yes, this dude. She ain't say a word the whole ride. Blank expression. You would think it ain't even the whole birthday the way she was acting. We pull up to the homie's crib. It was me, the homie that let me use his crib, the one that came for moral support, and oh. We get to the door. While she goes in, I act like I forgot something in the car. Me and my boy Eric go back to the trunk, get everything, boom, pop inside, and everybody in the room starts singing the birthday song. The homie that let me use his crib turns on the music, everybody having a good time for like 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes is up, this is where things get slim shady. By this time, those two left to go to the store so me and her could have some alone time. I'm on the couch, but O leaves into the other room looking real irritated. I noticed it, but I brushed it off as soon as she stood over me. She parks them buns on me like she wanted my Big Mac truck in her little garage, like she wanted to start something she most likely would have finished. 10 minutes go by, and the whole time we making out a little bit. She talking to me all nasty, telling me what she's gonna do to me when we get back to the car, etc., etc. Next thing I know, her mood went from happy AF to slightly concerned. For who, you may ask? Well, she leaned up, looked over at the room, got up, and told me she'd be right back. Still ignorant and 𝐤𝐄𝐄matized, I was like, okay. She leaves into the room where O was in. I kid you not, 30 minutes go by. 30! I'm like, what's taking shawty so long? I've been sitting in this living room by myself for a break. So I gets up to go see if Alice came back from Wonderland just to be surprised. No, bamboozled at the horrific sight I had laid my eyes on. It was her and O on the floor, holding hands. Y'all thought it was something else? That's besides the point. It be your own homies, bruh. The disrespect in that room. Not only did these niggas act like it wasn't a problem, but these niggas had the audacity to justify it. Like, her reactions were heartless AF, no remorse, not a brain cell working in her head. She acting like I just didn't do all of this. Boy, what the heck? What's going on in here, man? They both paying me no mind, looking at the ceiling, and this nigga had a smile on his face. She hit me with the, just holding hands. He and I are just friends, though. Y'all both finna be ancestors in a minute if y'all don't stop.
Calm down, bro. You just doing too much. We ain't even doing nothing for real.
Yeah, like, I don't see what's so wrong about this.
Bet. You know what? Bet. Bro, when I tell you I walked out that room so mad, not only did the homie, or what I thought was my homie, did me dirty as if he'd been plotting the whole time and had no remorse for it, doing it in the same area, but the same girl that I did all of this for did me dirty too and tried to justify it. Be real with me, y'all. What are you doing in this situation? I know for a fact a lot of y'all would have stirred up straight anarchy, like it would have been World War VI in that room with no hesitation. But me, I know how I am. I would have did the same thing, but I was on different timing, because that's the bro that left mama's house. I'm not trying to rake nothing up in that house. She would have killed me too. So I just left and regretted everything. At that point, you're done, you're done. She belonged to the omniverse. From the streets she emerged, back to the streets she shall return. Now, I tell y'all in a lot of videos that over time I've lived and experienced things and learned from them. This right here was something that I learned from but didn't really adjust accordingly, if that makes sense. It took some weeks to get over, but due to my overwhelming kindness and forgiving nature, I managed to work things out with the both of them with my other homies as support. Cause I done known O since childhood. I didn't want to see our friendship end right there, ignorant to how snakes worked. I had hope for the future and really tried to see if I could bring out the good in them, which was a dumb mistake on my part too, cause at the time I had my guard down. I didn't understand that no matter how much a snake sheds its skin, it's still a snake. I fell right for the bait, oblivious to the fact that they were telling me everything I wanted to hear just to get back into position, absorbing all the apologies and reasons and remorse for what they did like a dummy. And just like that, sooner or later, we all became cool again with my guard down. She and I, because of our toxic nature, got back together, which was the worst mistake of my life, especially after that event happened, and thinking they were being genuine, because immediately afterwards, this story happened. So about 7 months ago, at the start of January 2021, I had a falling out with a girl that I had been technically dating for a while. We're gonna use her nickname I gave her, Cookie. It's actually mind-blowing how we met, but that's for another story. I say technically dating because me and her made it clear that we were just in a talking phase, but that's cap, because we didn't do talking phase stuff. We did relationship stuff. Now, even though we fell out, I can honestly say with the all due respect that she earned from me, I have nothing bad to say about her because she treated me better than any female I had experienced before her. She was patient, she was nurturing, kind, submissive, loyal, a super freak, all the above, except for the reason I had to let her go. But that's a discussion for another day. Yeah, she may have not been shaped like Mewtwo and not 100% eye candy, but I still loved her though, cause she was a rare Pokemon that I was fortunate enough to find. You beta male cuck. Simp. We don't love these hoes. Red pill or get spilled, chump. You not alpha. Back then, we both went to separate colleges in the same city, so whenever I had time, she always wanted me to come see her and spend the night in her dorm. Plus, we were homebodies, so we had a routine. And that was, if we weren't going out to do stuff, I'd pull up, vibe for a couple hours, then around nighttime, she'd cook us both food. Then she'd throw on some easy access clothes, i.e. booty shorts. Then we'd Netflix and chill in her bed with my power pole brushed up against her, butt meat. And this usually resulted in her being down for anything because she was a freak. And I was too. One day during our routine, after getting nasty a little bit, she decided that she wants me to eat that macaroni in her pot for the first time. Which is cool and all, cause she said she'd caress my Dragon Balls and summon Shinron after, but one problem. At the time, I had zero experience swimming through Niagara Falls. Why? Because in my very small number of previous relationships and women experiences, they never cared about me doing it anyway. None of them. They were more in love with just summoning my Keyblade and sending me to the Shadow Realm, which was fine with me cause that's one less task in 𝐤𝐄𝐄 I gotta worry about. Why? Cause for some reason, at the time when it came down to using my mouth to drink from a girl's river, I just didn't have any interest in doing it anyway. Why? Cause for some reason, something always gave me the chills just looking at it. I know it's mandatory if she's gonna stroke my power pole with her gums, but I just don't know why. Maybe salami sandwiches freak me out. Maybe I wasn't as much of a freak as I thought I was back then. I just don't know why. Maybe I was just in my head too much. Paranoid maybe? When she gave me access to do it and asked me if I did it before, I was nervous because females that already are experienced don't like unexperienced men. Am I right, ladies? So I did what any idiot secretly folding under applied pressure because he doesn't want to mess up an opportunity would do.
put on an act. I told her I ate a couple honeypots in the past and I didn't do it much, which was cap, but I had to make up my mind quick because we were already in the mood. It was getting hot in there, no Nelly. I done had a mouthful of her chicken breast. She was looking like the Pacific Ocean down there. Plus, to her, based off of the stuff we did 2 minutes ago, it looked like I had experience in that field of study before. And I didn't want to disappoint her and look like a biatch, cause mama ain't raised no biatch. But then I had a brain blast and remembered that in moments like these, the only thing you should focus on is pleasuring your partner, i.e. making them explode. That changed my whole mindset. The mission now was to focus on her not turning into the Sahara Desert by making her water dam explode. So I put my pride to the side and got ready to jump off the plane into the ocean. And mind you, this is my first time ever taking a trip down to Dooney Land with my eating hole. And I think I'm not gonna enjoy this. I'm just doing what I gotta do. So I'm hyping myself up like, okay, I can do this, right? I've been eating Arby's for years. I got this. Come on, bruh. This can't be that bad. Like, stop being a little puh and man up and eat that puh. Her easy access shorts come off. I took in a deep breath and started the kisses from the thighs and made my way down to the gulag. So, how did I do? Rated on a scale of 1 to 10? 15,000. That was literally her answer. Dead serious. Bruh, I was feeling like the man when I got through. I wasn't stunned what nobody was saying when I got through. I even had her staring when I got through. I really felt bad for the next guy who looked at me funny because I felt like I was invincible. You sure about that? After growing some nuts and releasing the possible paranoia out of my mind that shouldn't have been there in the first place, in the first 20 seconds of me being in the gulag, it didn't turn out as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, it tasted like skin, duh, but I was focused on the mission, making her C4 explode, which was hard at first, but when I found her spot, it was game over. I turned it into a sport at that point, which was good for me because I'm already competitive at heart. Plus, I had a lot of stamina, so you already know how that went, you know what I'm saying? You can already hear all the poor souls that haven't watched the full video and only clips of this video on different platforms thinking I'm actually talking about video games like,
what is he talking about? What tastes like skin in Warzone? I'm so confuzzled.
Oh, brother. Right after, she kept her promise, told me to lay back, extended my dual disc, activated her Millennium Puzzle, and did what it do, sent me to the Shadow Realm. I gotta be a piece of crap today. I know, this happened a long time ago. I'm a completely different person now, so don't worry. I'ma keep it a stack with y'all. If you wanna be in a relationship, always make sure your intentions are clear from the start. Or you'll end up like me, who did it and reap what he sowed. If you've been on this channel for more than a year, then it's probably a good chance that you've seen this video that I made back then with my old art style about one of my exes named 𝐉𝐄. We had a very immature, toxic relationship, dated her for like a year and a half, blase, whole lotta. This story takes place 3.5 years ago at the very beginning of our relationship when I was a completely different person from what I am now. And the way we got together was kind of chaotic. I'll keep it short. One night we were both at a house party in a room alone. I was living my best life at the time, so my only mission at that party was to slide my hot dog into some girl's buns. For some reason, she was sad. I felt bad for her, so I tried to cheer her up. That turned into a casual, flirty conversation. It got a little bit spicy in that room. I got her juices juicing, if you know what I mean. It didn't go as far as you think, but it was just enough to get her attached. In fact, so attached to the point that she showed me more attention than anyone there for the rest of the night. Keep in mind, before her, I never really had a female show me that much attention because back in high school when it came down to bagging females, even though I played sports, I was the quiet, shy, unconfident kid that had little to no experience. Listen, that's why I was on my F-boy energy that night, because months before, I saw some of my friends have this same energy and it worked. So me being the gullible kid I was at the time,
monkey see, monkey do. In fact, over time, I became a pro at putting my heart on ice, no rod wave. So when she showed me that type of attention, I knew my hard work paid off. So after the party, we texted for like 3 days. All of our conversations were just flirting, no real chemistry at all, because I don't know about her, but I only had one mission in mind. Beat the Doonies down. Why didn't I just do it at the house party if that was my mission, you may ask? Yeah, it was my mission, but honestly, I didn't come prepared to go full throttle at all, if you know what I mean. I only intended for her to be like a friends with benefits or a side piece per se, because I found out she was a super freak that didn't give off any relationship vibes. She gave off more of a for the streets vibe. So I never made my intentions clear from the start because I assumed we were on the same page, but whew, oh boy, was I wrong. I had her so wrapped around my finger that I kid you not, after 3 days of texting, indirectly, she asked me out. She was like, so what are we? And in my head, I'm like, what do you mean, what are we? You must be speaking French or something, because I don't know what you're talking about. We are human beings. That's it. Nothing more. That caught me all the way off guard, because it's like, why? Why ask me this out of all things? Like, with the vibe you was giving off, it made me assume you wanted me to turn into a construction worker and tear down your walls, if you know what I mean, which I would have been completely fine with. Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Like, females aren't usually this bold, this fast. So I was kind of confused, because this ain't normal. Unless she was one of those people that fall in love easily. I didn't know mimicking what my homies did could get me this far. So I went deep into thought about my decision because I knew my intentions. I gave myself 2 choices. Either stop being childish and let her know my real intentions instead of leading her on, or shake up the dice, throw it, let's see what happens. So I answered her in a real nonchalant way. I don't know, you tell me. I guess we're together then. I guess we are. Now that I think about it, looking back on it, this was a pretty dumb way of getting into a relationship. Rushed and chaotic, like, that was so stupid. What type of drugs was I on back then, if any? We wouldn't all be here right now if I just grew a pair. Like, I had the balls to get that far, but didn't have the balls to be direct? Psh. Couldn't be me now. I went into this committed relationship with a childish mindset. Like, relationships are meant for finding a mate that is compatible enough to potentially spend the rest of your life with. But no. I just said yes because she was a convenient freak and she had a lot of assets, which was my only motive for her, especially after she, yeah. Slobbed on your knob like corn on the cob. Swallowed all of your milk, every last drop. So you used her. I wouldn't say I used her. I just used her resources. You piece of shit. I know. I never got the chance to build a bond, you know, fall in love with her, but I did fall in love with what she had to offer, which was the one thing that kept me around in the beginning. And again, I was very childish and immature, so if I didn't get that one thing, then my immaturity was taken to a whole new level, and that ruined everything for me. So one night, she and I were on the phone talking for a couple hours, bringing up different topics because the least I could do was vibe with her a little bit, especially after she, yeah. But I kept it as small talk, didn't care about who her friends were, what she had going on, how her social life was. I didn't have the slightest bit of cares. Even though I still gave responses, it was all a facade to maintain my position. After some time, we get on the topic of sliding sausages into hot dog buns, if you know what I mean. If you haven't been understanding these hints, then you're either too young or you don't get out much. This topic got me actually interested because, again, that's all I wanted from her, and I still didn't get to do it yet. So I'm like, oh, since we're on that topic, when you gonna let me beat them Doonies down, girl? With the expectation of an answer that I wanted to hear. But she tells me instead, she's never letting me get in the guts. Ever. On the inside, I'm confused because I done already got the GOG 5000 Deluxe, so I'm questioning her like, what do you mean I won't?
She repeats it again. And me being the idiot that didn't understand female nature at the time, I wasn't aware that she was just testing me. That's what women do after a while. They test you to see if you really are who you say you are. So she repeated it again. My energy that should have stayed the same went from 50 to 0. And like I said before, I was very childish and immature. So my mindset was, even though I'm in this committed relationship, what you won't do for me, another girl will. So I thugged it out with her for 10 more minutes to not seem suspicious. I get off the phone with her and start plotting who would be my victim to cheat with. Ugh. I was such a piece of crap. This was the most accurate timing I've ever seen in my life, because luckily my coworker that I went to school with told me at work the next day that this one girl I also went to school with before, named Tatiana, was moving back to town soon. And bruh, y'all already know I was geeked when I heard she was moving back, because I hadn't talked to Tatiana in about 2 years prior to this story. And if there's one thing I knew about Tatiana, it's that when it came down to me and her, even though I was shy before, she was still down for anything. But we never had time. One problem though, I deleted her number and Snapchat the day she moved. Plus, I didn't know her Instagram, so I had no way of contacting her. The only thing I remembered about her contacts was the fact that she had her first name in her username on Snapchat, and her bit emoji looked like her. I didn't remember her last name either. So in reality, I was kind of out of luck. But I didn't let that stop me. So after I got off of work that day, I got on Snapchat, typed in the first name, 2 Tatianas pop up with 2 different last names, and they weren't on my mutuals list. So all I gotta do is make the most accurate guess and go with the one that looks like her. Bet. So I went with the one that looked like her past Bitmoji, because she always had her Bitmoji look like her, as I made clear before. Added her as a friend and waited a couple hours. Never got added back. Until 7 p.m. came around. I didn't get added back by the one I picked, but instead there was another Tatiana that added me as a friend and wasn't a part of the first duo, which was kind of odd to me because it said this one was on my mutual friends list, which usually means they're close by, a list that I never checked before this. And her Bitmoji's appearance looked like the original, just like the other 2, so I was confident that it was her. I added her back, slid in her DMs, and instantly I got a reply. So we chop it up for like 20 minutes. I ask her, does she remember me, how she's been, you know, the basic things to set the mood, and eventually I end up asking her to link. She agreed, and I was hyped for a minute until she asked me instantly if I wanted to tear her walls down. That was a little bit too fast. So for a second, it got me happy because it became clear that we were on the same page, but in the back of my mind, I knew something was very off about this. She was going all gas, no brakes, talking about what position she wanted to be put in, what did she want me to do to her, everything under the sun. And I'm sitting there like, yo, where was all this 2 years ago? In the middle of us talking, Sade calls me, and when I pick up the phone, something was different about her. Like, her energy was off, but I was still happy as a mug knowing I did what I just did, trying to ignore the fact that I was cheating, but something was still off about this. So she's like, Devonte, would you ever lie to me? When a woman asks you this question, 9 times out of 10, she already knows the answer. She's just trying to see if you're gonna lie to her face, which is something I didn't know at the time. So of course I said no. Then she asked me, Devonte, would you ever cheat on me? And me being the naive, immature, unaware, childish kid I was, I still wasn't aware of what was going on. So of course I said no, never in fact. Then she gets quiet and tells me to look at our messages. I look at our messages and I see a screenshot of my messages with Tatiana. Bruh, my heart has never dropped so fast in my life. My heart dropped it like it's hot. For the next 30 seconds, I ain't hear a word come out of her mouth. It was dead silent in that room. Like, I've never panicked so hard in my life. It had to be God.
Had to be.
The timing was way too on point. Everything from the time I got off the phone with Sade the night before lined up so perfectly, cause what were the odds that Sade would borrow her friend's account that just happened to be named Tatiana just to see if I would cheat? It blows my mind to this day. I think after my energy plummeted that night before, she got suspicious. I'm telling you, these females be turning into detectives when they see something suspicious. Trust me, after this night, I most definitely did everything in my power to keep that legendary throat. That's why we stayed together for the next year with breaks, cause it was pretty toxic after. She didn't see me the same, but I ain't ashamed of it. I'm human just like you. I make mistakes and learn from them just like you. And I don't regret it either, because without learning from my past mistakes, I wouldn't be who I am today. Cause you see, you gotta give a boy a chance to grow some. It still blows my mind to this day how everything happened so perfectly in line. It wasn't karma, it was most definitely God teaching me a lesson. Like, I really got caught cheating on my girlfriend with herself. I was literally talking to Sade the entire time. I had been caught in 32K the minute I asked old girl to link. That's tough.
Mellow. Devonte, wake your ass up. It's time to party, yaddy, yaddy.
I don't know about y'all, but ain't nothing like a college dorm, man. The land of the young, wild, and free. Some of the best times of my life occurred in that mug. Like, bruh, I used to love having the freedom to go and come as I please, be as loud as I want, and not hear my parents' mouth, walk around booty butt naked, and most importantly, the hoes! Yeah, man. Now, wherever there's pros, there's also cons. So that means even though I love the college dorm life, I also hated it. Freshman year of college for me in the dorms was hell. They put me in a cell, dorm with the worst people. My roommate was a thief, a liar, and a dickhead. My suite mates got on my last freaking nerve. All four of us had to share one bathroom, which they barely cleaned. What you think, I was finna clean that war zone? Boy, it looked like World War VI in there. Like, who been using that mug? Jabba the Hutt? I would always use my homeboy's bathroom across the hall as a contingency plan. That's how disgusting it was in there. The ceilings always flooded cause somebody clogged the toilet upstairs. No fridge, no living room. The air conditioning was doo-doo brown water. The beds took up half the room and they weren't even big. They were twin sized. I had to lock up all my stuff in the closet. Like, bruh, I really paid $2,000 to live in a prison cell.
You're a victim.
Bruh, I cannot tell y'all how many times my roommate pissed me off. When I was away for a weekend one time, dude took my bed comforter without asking, slept on it, and when I got back, lied to me talking about, oh, I didn't touch it. When I pressed him about it, cause he decided to be an idiot and put the comforter behind my bed instead of putting it back on my bed. Like, bro, if you're gonna be a thief, be a smart one. You ain't never seen Sly Cooper before? Oh, smart dumbass boy. Another time I was asleep, right? 3 a.m. in the morning. I wake up and there's like 10 randos surrounding my bed. Like, bruh, what is this? A Riley Raid special? And they was all doing what guys do. You know, chilling, trying to see what the move is, shacking a fool, and roasting me, all while being literally 1 feet away from me. Bro, I ain't never, ever been that uncomfortable in my life. Well, Devonte, you should have roasted him back. What I look like? Kevin Hart? I can't 1v10 these fools. I'm in a war zone where a squad wipe was impossible. This didn't happen to me one night, but many nights. There was another time where I realized I could never achieve peace with this boy around. So my roommate was beefing with one of our suite mates across the hall, right? He like, I'll call gang right now. Suite mate's like, do it then. Next thing I know, 5 minutes later, a bunch of dudes walk into our rooms. 15 deep, huddled up in the hallway, hanging out the door, pressing our suite mate, talking all type of reckless. Then next thing I know, our suite mate calls all his homies who pulled up 2 minutes later. Now it's like 30 deep in our room, their room, and outside in the hallway. Complete chaos. All while I'm sitting there like, I wanna go. I thought niggas was finna start the next great ninja war. Oh, and another time, I told my roommate to not, and I mean do not, use my mini fridge. And what did he do? Shh. I told you not to open my fridge. Now look at you.
unable to open your mouth. Another time, I remember it was like 2 a.m. in the morning and I decided to go to sleep early. Bro walks into the room, but not alone. He walks in with shawty he met literally 10 hours ago. They like, look like my roommate sleep. But what if he wakes up? Just don't make no noise. Whole time I'm awake hearing all of this and I knew exactly what was about to happen cause duh, 2 a.m. is Dooney beatdown hours. Bruh, I was high-key pissed at the fact that dude was 2 feet away from me, really dropping meat off in the hole. Shoot, if I'm keeping it gravy with y'all, everybody's some freaks in college. I ain't ashamed. I'm included in that category.
Hey, listen.
Rose petals on the floor. The one from my dreams, and you're with me right now. Mi corazón te quiero. Right here and now, I'll give you a taste. Snake princess, I'll be your king.